Hello, everyone. Welcome to the program. This is Sunday Politics live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimbaloye in Abuja. There is nothing perhaps more important at this time for Nigeria's ruling All Progressives Congress APC than realizing the dream of conducting a peaceful and successful national convention slated for the 26th of February 2022. It may be a make or mar for the party that the President Muhammadu Buhari used in actualizing his presidential ambition of almost 2 decades. And that party is faced now with a major hurdle to conduct a convention that will see a new leadership take the helms of affairs of the party. A few names have since popped up for those who want to lead the party, especially in the realms of the national chairmanship role. One of them is a sitting senator and a former governor of Nasarawa State, a former import and agro and industrial machinery businessman in his early life and later ventured into real estate and property development business. He was a former state youth leader of the National Party of Nigeria, NPN, in Plateau State, served as the secretary of the National Republican Convention, NRC, from 1990 to 1992 in the Old Plateau. He later became a 2-term governor of Nasarawa State from 2011 to 2019 before handing over to incumbent Governor Abdullahi Sule. Senator Tanko Al-Makura currently represents Nasarawa South Senatorial District in the National Assembly, and tonight he joins me live to discuss his ambition and the APC. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, former Governor Tanko Al-Makura, Senator Al-Makura. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much, Sean. It's a privilege being in your popular program.
Thank you so much for coming. Let's begin the conversation, Senator.
Thank you.
Let's not beat around the bush because the party has already released its schedule of activities for the National Convention, and of which you are gunning to be national chairman. I mean, that has been made clear. We all know it's no longer news. But let me ask you, why do you want to be the national chairman of the APC?
Thank you very much, Sean. My motive or intention to vie for the office of the national chairman of APC is predicated on my belief for the party. I have tremendous amount of confidence and faith in the APC because that's my only party. And it has come a long way in giving confidence to a lot of its followers or members that we need to get this party progress. Reason being, the party has done a lot to instill confidence not only in the party members but to Nigerians as a whole. The first that makes the party tick is how it was able to package the merger. The merger initiative was something that has never happened in this country before. What used to happen was alliances, accords, and what have you. But to have something that is holistic, something that is all-embracing, where people from different tendencies have abandoned that to assume national harmonious tendency, that's again that any patriotic member of this party would want to sustain. Secondly, the role model, the leadership we have in the party that is symbolized by Mr. President in carrying out the affairs of governance in this country has strengthened my faith in the party and my intention to sustain the gains of the values and efforts of President Muhammadu Buhari. The last is the party has made tremendous amount of gains over the years since 2015. From just about 10, 11 governors, we have 22 governors. We have majority in the Senate. We have majority in the House of Representatives, not to talk of various houses of assembly. So these gains are what is really pushing me to want to add value to this party so that we'll be able to sustain the gain, to be able to succeed in winning elections so that this party can be the party of Nigerians.
There are a few contestable points that you have made. One being, one of each is the issue of the gains that you say your party has put on the ground and the President Muhammadu Buhari administration. Now, a lot of people who are listening tonight will say, what are the gains? But before we go into all of that, I'd like to cast your mind back quickly to just how delicate the office of the national chairman of the APC is. And history has taught us a big lesson in that respect. I'd like to cast your mind, just a few years ago, or just less than 2 years, the time of Adams Oshiomhole, a torrid time in your party, a turbulent period for that man who was a former governor. Just before him was Chief John Oyegun, who also had a very difficult time. In fact, he was heavily criticized in office. You're going to be 70 very soon. You're not any younger. Why do you want to put yourself in that very turbulent and troubled seat, which is a hot seat, if I may say, considering the fact that your party is going to an election and there's a lot of pressure? Why do you want to enter into what some people would say political hot water?
Thank you. Maybe if I can change the description, is political cool water. Political cool water in the sense that APC is the party that virtually all Nigerians want. If you see the way and manner people are trooping into the party by the day. In any case, why I think I should contest in spite of all the scare, as far as I'm concerned, there's no scare. And I feel my pedigree, my experience in various sectors, which include party administration, governance as an executive, and a legislator, would give me the opportunity to add value and ensure success of this party. The first one, to be a chairman of a party like APC, which has over 40 million people, I will fall back on the rudimentary knowledge I've had of the party administration since I was a youth. I was a youth leader of MPN way back in the 80s, in 1979-80. And I had the opportunity of attending NEC meetings with political gurus like Akiloe, Shagari, Uba Ahmed, Mbadiwe, to mention a few. So such pedigree, such residual background could come to bear in piloting the affairs of the party if I happen to be the chairman. The second is I have been the governor of Nassau State for 8 years. And I think that should be a plus for whoever would want to preside over the party. Why? Because I have a constituency that is powerful, that is very fundamental in ensuring the success, not only of the party, but of governance generally, and thus the governor's constituency. I believe my being on the same page with the governors, coming from the same constituency, would help leverage value addition in the party administration. Another angle is my being in the Senate. I would consider the legislature, not only the Senate, but House of Representatives and even Houses of Assembly as people that we are on the same page because we're all legislators. So with all these experiences in the party administration, in state administration, in the legislature, it will give me the opportunity to bring to bear those values, those competencies to ensure that the party is administered seamlessly. All
right. So there's a lot of work. I'd like to, there's so many things to touch on. So I want us to tackle them head on and straight away. Now, it does look now that the APC national chairmanship seat is looking like a former governor affair. Is that the plan? That is only former governors that can become the national chairman of the APC? From B.C. Akande, former governor, John Oyegun, former governor, Adams Oshomole, former governor, and yourself, you want to be the national chairman of the APC. Is that the idea of the
No,
APC?
I don't think it's an all governors' affairs, but it does appear that people that are likely to have the wealth of experience in ensuring the administration of a complex and well-populated party like APC should be people who have tested certain challenges of managing human activities. So you find that if you score people contesting for these offices and putting them side by side with those that have been governors, you would find that the governors are likely to have added advantage, not because they're governors, but because of the wide range of experience they have garnered.
So have you gotten the buy-in and the vote of the governors? Are they behind you?
It's not for me to say. I know we are friends. We belong to the same constituency, and every governor has his own self-determination and self-will. And I've been meeting, soliciting their support. It is not for me to say whether I have their support or not. It is for them to tell me that they are supporting me.
Do you have confidence that the governors are behind you?
I'm very, very confident that the governors are very objective people, are people who love this party. There are people who have seen the challenges of this party and know very, very well how this party could be properly managed. I'm very, very sure that the governors will do the right thing at the right time.
And what is the right thing? The right thing will be you becoming chairman?
Put in the best person for the job, the person that could do the job the way they expect, the way the Nigerians will expect, the way the party will move forward.
Have you spoken to the president about your ambition?
I'm sorry to say that it's personal.
You have not consulted with him?
Being the leader of the party is someone that I have the opportunity of meeting from time to time. I've been meeting Mr. President, but for me to speak about issues relating to my aspiration, I think that, to me, is personal, and I will not want to divulge
what you've had with the president. But we can take it that you've had conversation with the president in that respect.
I have been having conversation with the president on various issues. This could be one of it.
Let's look at the fact that not only former governors, sitting senators, that is now the color of those who want to contest for the APC national chairman. You have a few senators also who are gunning for that seat. It's going to be keenly contested because now, if you look at it, from the pool of the senators' caucus, you have a competition there. How popular are you in that caucus?
Maybe you need to ask the APC caucus in the Senate to determine where I rate as far as my popularity is in the Senate. But suffice it to say that I've been in contact with a substantial number of our senators. I've written letters to them, and I've had one-on-one engagement with more than 70% of the senators. And I can say with every sense of good judgment that I'm comfortable.
Does it bother you when you hear that there's a certain candidate that has the blessing of the president that the villa is supporting?
The president is the leader of this party, is the leader of this country. And the president is someone I've come a long way with, and I've come to imbibe his values. I know he is a person who makes very good judgment, very sane judgment, very objective judgment that is in conformity with the rule of law and the Constitution. So if the president or the leaders of the party decide otherwise, I'm a loyal party member. I'm loyal to a fault. that whatever the party takes, whatever the leader says, whatever the stakeholders consider to be the best option for presiding over the party, I am loyal. I will abide by it.
Some people are already saying that you should go for consensus, that the party should adopt consensus. No, nobody should go into the election at the Eagle Square on that day, that the party should sit around the table and decide for a consensus candidate. Do you think that is the way to go?
Now that the Electoral Act is ready, and parties are given the leverage, the opportunity to choose whichever option they fits them. Is it direct? Is it delegates? Or is it consensus? So consensus has become part of the process that has been accepted by the Constitution. So whichever one the party decides to use as the model for emergence of leadership, as a loyal party member, I will abide by it.
Let me ask you, what would be your own style, or what your major agenda is in wanting to become the chairman of the party, in the sense that we saw a radical Adams Oshiomhole who wanted a party supremacy. Do you want to go the radical way too?
No, I don't know whether to call his approach as radical or not, but I know he's someone who is forthright and someone who is very brave in taking decisions. You cannot fault that with a Labour person. Be that as it may, I would consider party supremacy to be very, very ideal if we want the party to administer its activities in a manner that will be to the best interest of the party members. I think party supremacy should be given a go. However, what I think I will do, or the model I will operate, don't forget, I've been in MPN, I've been in NRC, and I've seen models, different approach to party administration. However, after putting all those together, what will be my focus will be to ensure justice, to ensure fair play, to ensure open door policy, so that everybody would have a sense of belonging. A chairman is not the one who is supposed to have a monopoly of wisdom. A chairman's responsibility is to collect, harmonize, aggregate issues that is in the best interest of the majority of the people.
So I'd like to take you to these in the MPN days you mentioned, Akinloye will sit and Shagari sit at the high table. Shagari will sit on the opposite side as the sitting president of the party. In your own thinking, which is supreme? Because people say the president is the leader of the party. But where exactly is the leader of the party, the chairman or the president?
For me, the sitting arrangement or sitting protocol, for me, does not determine who is more powerful, who is more important.
Sitting arrangement is just a picture representation of the hierarchy. But I'm talking about the supremacy of the party, where you see when people take the president or the governor above the chairman of the party in the state, they take the president and far and above the chairman of the party at the national level. In your own thinking and from your own experience, and I make reference to Akinloye, in the MPN days, that was what was obtainable. The party was supreme.
Yes, but you know, life and politics is dynamic. And what operated way back in the 80s might not be something that may attract people's interest 40 years after. So I believe what's most important is the fact that the president is the leader of the party. And even by our sitting arrangement, you can see that the president is right in the center being
Is that the ideal of what our politics
I think that should be ideal, because if we have a leader, someone that we defer to, we should be able to ensure that whatever situation we find ourselves, that superiority, that honor, that deference that we give to him is also typified by the way he sees, by the way we conduct ourselves, by the way we relate with him.
But the party gives birth to the president in terms of that position. I mean, the party gives the president the ticket, the person the ticket to become the president.
Yes.
So should the president then, the person that becomes the president, become now far and way above the president? Because we've seen a situation in this country where people in that position, either governors or president, they overreach their bounds in politics.
No, I don't think that's the way. You see, it's like a kingmaker and the king.
Who is more powerful?
Of course, the kingmaker before the king assumes coronation. But as soon as the king is declared and he sits on that seat, he becomes powerful. So I think I can.
You can be able to manage when you have an overbearing president. Will you be able to manage it?
Sorry?
If you have an overbearing president,
yes.
Would you be able to manage as chairman?
Oh, no. I don't pray we have an overbearing president. And what we have seen already with what President Muhammad Buhari has shown, it shows that no matter what power he got, he gave it back to the people. And I believe whoever wants to administer the administration of this country should take leave from that by being humble, by being people-oriented, by leaving the people to lead while he leads.
Let's go to the test of your character for this role, and the question of your incorruptibility or corruptibility. I mean, as the case may be, there was a story about you and your wife being arrested, but a statement from your office said that there was a denial, says that there was just a communication between you and the EFCC to clarify some issues. Can you tell Nigerians tonight that you are sparkling clean of any sort of corruption baggage?
Thank you very much. As far as I'm concerned, I was not arrested by EFCC. I was only invited by EFCC, and personally, I feel it's their mandate. If they have anything they want to ask, they want to find out, they are constitutionally empowered to do so. My case with the EFCC is about invitation to clarify one or two issues that is not even related with the governance of my state.
So you are sparkling clean, that's what you're telling us?
Sorry?
No sort of corruption?
No, there was no corruption charge against me whatsoever. It was to clarify one or two things that has taken place in the companies that I own.
Okay, so let's go into...
And what I consider EFCC's mandate to be doing, which I am comfortable about. You see, they can preemptive, investigative, and prosecution. So I believe what I have gone for with them is maybe preemptive, maybe investigative.
Based on petitions against you?
There was no petition against me. There was no any complaint about me. I told you it's about a transaction that has taken place, which is just normal in a company that I own, and which I resigned before I became governor. But because the EFCC wanted me to give them some clue, some information about what those transactions were all about. That is why I was invited, and
all right. So
I've given that invitation.
You said that your party is going on a legacy that the president has laid, but there will be question as to whether or not there was performance of the promise that they made by your party. For example, the PDP has threatened to take out your party in 2023. The agenda, as far as PDP is concerned, is to return Nigeria to the days when PDP was in power. And according to the PDP, when the economy, they want to return Nigeria to when the economy was better from their own point of view. And as far as the PDP is concerned, the APC government has badly handled the affairs of this country. How do you react to that?
No, I think that's a very unfair judgment of this administration. Nigerians know where this country was when APC took over power in 2015. Nigerians know what kind of challenges this administration had when they took over in 2015. And now to isolate one or two things and then condemn this administration, I think is not fair. Politics is not warfare. Politics is something that is supposed to be mutual understanding, mutual recognition, mutual analysis, mutual opposition. We're not going to war. The issue about the economy that you are talking about, when PDP was getting price of oil up to $100 per barrel, what did it do?
Well, your party has said this over the time.
But
the question is that the country was handed to your party, and what you make of it is what the question is. But let me allow you to, because I just have about 2 questions before we go.
Okay.
Like the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, just said, and I quote, "This is a party," making reference to the APC, "this is a party of the common man, a party of the people, a party that takes at its cradle the importance of ensuring that a common man benefits maximally from government, which is why we have the big programs like the social investment programs, the largest if it is of its kind in the continent, and several of such other programs that emphasize how serious we take the lot of the common man." End of quote. That is the Vice President. The question is that he's talking about welfareism. He's talking about social welfare. What is the ideology of your party? And has your party been able to live up to that expectation?
I think very much so, very much so. The party that promotes social justice and social welfare is a party that can be properly described as a party for the common man. Look at the social investment program. Look at the activities that is being carried out by Bank of Industries and many, many others that this government has been doing. I believe, given the resources at our disposal vis-a-vis what was at the disposal of PDP when they're in power, we are doing really great.
Even with the price of commodities in the market, because that's what bothers some Nigerians.
No,
now your party promised change, but the things have changed not for the better as far as some of them are concerned if they measure up, because it's a matter of comparison. Just compare the past when your party promised and now. They say what they get is not better. Those are some of the complaints.
No, I always warn against isolating issues without taking a holistic judgment and objective analysis. You cannot just isolate one aspect of a problem that people are facing and then use that to condemn an administration. It's not done that way.
Some people also will touch on security, Your Excellency. They say security has gone for the worst. These are some of the allegations against your party, that your party is not fair. But the final word that I would like from you is whether or not your party is ready for the contest. The way and manner the opposition and even the third force and other alternatives that are coming up are saying, look, they want to take out your party out of the Aso Villa, out of prominence. Are you ready to be able to lead the APC to convince Nigerians for that task?
Okay, before that, I'm ready to convince Nigerians to ensure that APC is given a landslide victory come 2023. However, when you're talking about, before that, you mentioned about security. And that's why I'm saying it is not good isolating just an issue. Look at what Boko Haram has made Nigeria before we came. Borno, Yobe, Adama, they were all under the control of Boko Haram. In fact, it got to a point where certain local governments were for months under the administration of Boko Haram. Bombs were being detonated in Lagos, in Kano, in Abuja, everywhere. Look at the journey from then to now. Are we having the bombs now? Is it just by chance or by effort? This administration has done creditably well to ensure that our promises have been delivered.
Thank you so much. We'll see how the race pans out, but we must sincerely thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you.
Your Excellency, former Governor Tanko Almakura, who's a sitting senator representing Nasarawa South in the National Assembly. Thank you so much for coming on tonight.
Thank you very much.
I
appreciate it.
We'll take a break, everyone, and when we return, our attention will be on the opposition PDP and the internal workings of that party vis-a-vis the 2023 race. Two gentlemen, Honorable Dachon Baggers and Mr. Kenneth Imaswago, will be joining me. The PDP's resurgence plan. What does this really mean? Stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. One thing that is clear to the new national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Senator Yocha Ayu, is that his party, the People's Democratic Party, will win the 2023 presidential election. He has as much convictions. Well, in his words, and I quote, he said, recently the PDP will definitely produce the next president and take the country back to the days when we were in power, when we cleared all foreign debts, when we were developing this country at reasonable speed, and when we became the richest country on the African continent, end of quote. The PDP has boasted about its ability to rescue Nigeria, but the conversation on who will be the man or woman to lead the opposition party to remove the APC from prominence, as they have boasted, has become a matter of intense debate. The Bauchi State Governor, Bala Mohammed, says the North, again, should be given another opportunity to rule the country, especially the Northeast, in the interest of fairness and equity. He also stated that he would make his position known on his presidential ambition latest in February, but reveals again that he has already constituted a committee responsible for drafting out a blueprint for his administration as president. Take a listen to Governor Mohammed.
We are aware of the agitation of the southern part of the country because of the tenure of the leader of the country today, President Muhammadu Buhari, who is from the north, and he will be finishing his tenure in 2023. So power shall rotate to the south. But I want to say it and seize the opportunity to say that I am in PDP, I am not in APC. It is the APC that has this burden. In my party, the last president was from the south, and he was my president, Goodluck Ebele. And during the period, my party was at the center 16 years. 14 of these years were led by the people from the south. So why is the justice and justification? So it is the turn of the north. And when you come to the north, as the chairman has said, northeast and southeast have not been there for too long. Only a short stint compared to other zones.
Well, there are a number of persons who have shown interest to fly the PDP flag, but the controversy over the zoning and choice of candidates has in fact created some sort of divisions. Take a listen to some of these arguments. I'll allow you to listen first and foremost to Kasim Afegbua on his position on the issue of the Governor Mohammed raised that the power should again go to the north. He doesn't believe so. He believes that he should go to the south. And he made specific advice to the party. Take a listen to Kasim Afegbua.
We are tired of seeing old faces. From 1990 up till 2019, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar has been contesting for president.
Is there anything wrong in that?
No, there's nothing wrong. But for God's sake, the PDP must change its strategy. If they want, in a plural society like Nigeria, what you need is to balance the equation. After 8 years in the north, then you come down south. The two parties must, as a matter of necessity, for political stability, take their candidates from the south.
That was in this program earlier this week. Well, we have other conversation. Segun Showumi was on the program who countered him. But let me allow my guest tonight to weigh in on this. Maybe later on we might be able to allow you to listen to what Segun Showumi said on that. But let's allow Honorable Dachong Baggers, a member of the House of Representatives representing Plateau State, a member of the PDP in the House of Representatives. Thank you so much, Honorable, for coming in.
Thank you, Sean.
And we have Mr. Kenneth Imasu-Agbon, a lawyer and a chieftain of the PDP. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you, Sean. I'm glad to be here.
And perhaps let me begin with you, Mr. Imasu-Agbon. You heard what someone like Kasim Afegbuo said about, and Governor Mohammed said, power should go to the north. But for some people in the PDP, like Kasim, they feel, interestingly, you and Kazim are from the same state. He feels that the power should go to the south.
It's laughable. You know, Kazim should not be taken very seriously. We're from the same state, so I know him. He's not a core politician. He's an activist. But having said that, the trouble of our country, the chaotic nature of our country today demands very serious, credible person. As PDP, Nigerians are waiting and praying to God Almighty that we must kick out the butt of APC. And to do so, we need a winning card and a winning material. And that material is Alhaji Atiku Abubakar.
Is that the only person running your party?
No, of course not.
That has interest?
Of course not. But
because that was the contention of the program on that day.
Let me say this.
When Kasim said Atiku Abubakar and his likes should not even come to the fray because, according to them, they need new, fresh
okay, those who have
new
failed,
blood.
Those who have failed Nigeria in the past were younger people. Today, the problem of our country, where Nigeria is on the precipice, we're in trouble. Maybe, sure, you don't even know how serious the problem of our country is, with due respect to you. I'll quickly go to other parts of the world. Very serious countries that have made it. Singapore. Lee Kuan Yew of Singapore was 80 when he took charge of his country. And he laid the foundation for economic development for Singapore. Today, Singapore is one of the leading countries in the world. Ronald Reagan. Reagan is one of the greatest president of the American might or American nation. He was in his 78 onto 80s when he became. Even today, Joe Biden, when there were division, crisis in America as to the unity of American nation, President Barack Obama and very few other great Americans said they needed a Biden who has served 3 times in the Senate, a Biden who has been in Washington from Delaware, travels all the way from Delaware to Washington to be able to maneuver the Trump tricks. And it worked. For PDP, if we are serious at all, it is Atiku that can do the job. I will tell you why. One, God has prepared him for this time. God loves Nigeria so dearly, we do not know. Atiku have been running, yes. We need his expertise. We need his experience. We need, he's an educationist, he's running a university. He runs water industry. He runs block industry. He serves as number 2 man in the country. He understands the problem. Atiku from the one who hit the ground running. A man that has 12 million votes in his pocket.
Why is the opposition against him in your party? Because you are one of those who think he should run.
Yes, I'll tell you, I have a problem.
Opposition.
Yes.
Honorable Bagos, I mean, what's your view on that?
Yeah, mine is...
you also think Atiku is the best man?
Well, sure. You know, my brother Ken, you know, made mention of a little accusation on my own constituency, which is of the youth. We're from the same party, but I don't think that because you were a youth and you had failed the country. And secondly, I think what PDP is focusing on now, whosoever becomes the president or the candidate of PDP to run for the presidency will even be better than what we have today from the APC. And again, we shouldn't even use age now, because if we are using age, then which means if they start comparing us in the PDP with the age of our present president that we have not gotten what we want, then definitely our candidate will. So let's produce a candidate that will give. As far as I'm concerned,
age is not. It
shouldn't come because.
What about zoning?
Yeah, well, to me, zoning shouldn't even be part of it, because whosoever PDP produces as a candidate will be better than what we have in the APC administration now. In fairness, wheresoever the candidate comes from.
So it's a matter of anybody but APC, as far as you're concerned.
Yeah, it's anybody, but it will definitely be better than APC. Because now, if we allow propaganda and if we allow the oppositions to start making us to fight on the issue of zoning and the issue of who will be the candidate, then we will lose the point. Let's look at the issues. How have APC failed in the past 7 years? What are those issues that PDP will run for to campaign with? And whosoever PDP as a party carries those issues, whosoever becomes our candidate, we put those issues on the table alongside with his own ideology to get this country back to track. But if we allow ourselves to start fighting on candidature, we allow ourselves to start fighting on zoning, then we will miss the mark before we get to the goal.
All right.
That's my own ideology. And again,
Honorable, I mean, you have been in politics. You've also been in politics. You've run for governor in your state. I mean, you've run for a few elections, becoming a federal lawmaker. But the question is that election is not just an event, it's a process. Yeah. And it started effectively. 2022 is that year where almost everything will be done. The question now is that, can we look away from the issues that shape our elections? The multiplicity of voices, the multiplicity of culture and race, the multiplicity of ethnic, the multiplicity of religion. Can we look away from it? On the issue of natural justice, the issue of fairness, can we look away from those issues?
It's something that has really brought us and set us back as a people and as a country. Ethnicity, religion, and some of those things that you have mentioned, those are the issues that have set us back as a country. We don't look at credibility. We don't look at that this person can deliver. When it's time, the North can say, this is what we want. It is our own turn. And when it gets to the North, whosoever they believe that because it's the North...
It's not crucial. The drafters of the Constitution, would they have put it there?
Yeah. No,
that every part of the country needs to be counted.
That is what, to me, in fairness, that has been the reason why we are where we are today. Because if something has happened, you will see the Northerners will rally around that this is our own, even if he's not doing well. And the Southerners will rally around that this is our own, even he's not doing the well. Mine is that where those merit stands, where those integrity stands. It's not before even party politics. First of all, integrity. First of all, merit. First of all, the ability to be able to drive the process. So we shouldn't miss that in the first place. Whatsoever might come at the end of the day that will play politics of religion, will play politics of ethnicity.
I'm very sure you're from a region that is always agitated.
Yeah.
North Central is a region that is agitated in the power sharing. And Northeast is also sometimes agitated about these issues. Even the South was agitated until President Goodluck Jonathan came.
Yeah, because of
and one of the issues that has usually been raised is that when it comes to the turn of considering some of the minorities, so to say, and you bring the issue of merit, people get offended.
Okay, yeah, now.
Let me allow you to.
Yes.
People get offended that you're not, when it comes to considering us, then you're talking about merit. Does it mean that the minorities don't have capabilities or capacity?
Because
let me allow.
Yeah, but let Ken come in first.
Yes, merit, there's a place for merit party politics. But for Nigerians, what Nigerians are asking from PDP, we must get it right. The first thing is that we must get APC out of the way. And who is the guy, who is the man among the litany of aspirants we have that can do this? Who is that guy? And that guy is Atiku. That's what I'm saying.
What about Bukola Saraki?
Yeah, he's a fine gentleman.
What about Yinsom
I'm coming.
What about Aminu Tambuwa?
Great. I would
What about Ma Ohabunwa?
We've got litany of them, but they've not been tried in the polls. They've not been tried. Atiku have been tried. The people knows Atiku heart. The Nigerians know where Atiku stands on issues. Atiku is a bold person who takes a dive, who will tell you where he is. What Nigeria needs today, we need a courageous leader, one. We need a man who is very exposed, an exposed president, two. We need an experienced president, three. We need an industrialist, four. We need a man who understands the economics, five. We need a man who can create jobs, six. We need a man who can unify the country, seven. Eight, we need a man who will bring the country together, because nine, we need a man who can heal the country. 10, finally, we need a man from the one who will know what to do. I am not ashamed. I have a stake in the country. My candidate, the winning candidate of the party, I would even push and plead with our governors that these are times and days of strategy. Even to my young man who is in the Federal House of Rep, Bagus, that these are not time for us to make mistakes. If PDP goes to the election with a trial, a man that is not tested, no, mark my words today, we will lose. I will regret it.
Do you agree?
Well, I agree with him on the items number 1 and to 10. As a serving member and with constituents and as a PDP person, it will be very wrong of me to publicly mention the name of a candidate. And he is at liberty to say that. But on issues of the kind of and the caliber of person we want from number 1 to 10, which I know, whosoever we can get that on. But when the time comes, like I said, as a party person and as someone that has followers, we'll definitely come and see who will convince us to move that ticket for. If Ken will be able to convince me outrightly that Atiku is the person during our convention, definitely we'll rally around. So as the leaders that we are already the face of the party, definitely we will not come out to say, this is a candidate,
But
this
the
is a
question
candidate.
is that whether or not what Nigerians are bothered about, in fact, some Nigerians may not even know the color or the name of any political party. What they are bothered about is the quality of food. And in
Exactly.
fact, the content of the food.
And that's why, that's why I said...
On their plate, that's what they are bothered about.
Yeah.
So the question now is, does your party, the PDP, have the wherewithal to be able, when you say you want to take APC out,
Absolutely.
what are you bringing to the
Come
table?
on,
because the APC will say that for 16 years, you made a mess of this country.
No.
Those are the allegations from the APC.
Because the APC government, you know, that came into power through propaganda. They have promised Nigerians to fight against corruption, promised Nigeria to fight insecurity, promised Nigerians to take dollar back to 1 naira, promised Nigerians a lot of things that merely it's practically impossible. While PDP were campaigning on issues. The PDP's campaigns were issue-based. That look, this is where we are, and this is what
return Nigeria to the days when you were in power. And so, if you take those the word for it, if it's not propaganda, then we can start questioning also.
You know, we all know.
If you're promising to take us back to those days, there are very big questions.
You know that things, what you used to get in the market is different from what you're getting now. The high level of insecurity in the country, then the former governor was talking about bombings in different places, but now as an individual, you can't travel from for 1 kilometer without being afraid. So these are issues that how can Nigerians be safe on the street? It's not about bombing, it's about the high level of kidnapping that has risen during this administration. The high level of dollars.
Does your party have the reputation?
But the high level of banditry. Let me tell you something, Shehun. It was during the PDP era that President Shehu Musa Yar'Adua was able to bring solution to the amnesty, to the unrest in the South. That a blueprint, and that's why the South today, it's very peaceful in terms of through the amnesty. But now the issue of mandatory...
The man from the South and the Niger Delta is clamoring for another candidate. Your final word. Your final thought.
My final word is that let's give out our winning card, our trump card is Atiku. We must win 2023 because Nigerians want to change. It's like putting the football in the 20-yard box. If we get it right, I would even advocate for a consensus of a candidate in Atiku, so that we could go to the South and pick any of the governors.
Atiku has led your party to election and he lost.
He didn't.
So how do you convince the others
let's not go into
that it's better? No, because I wanted you to wrap up. But when you are saying...
Wrapping up.
Because interestingly, I didn't know that you have a very strong passion about Atiku.
Atiku, yes, because that is our winning card. Atiku is the winning card. Whether you hate him, you like him, go to the streets of Nigeria. You say Atiku, everybody. Just like what Buhari was in 2015.
Are you able to conduct the poll by yourself?
I've done some magical polls.
Well, we need to leave that out, gentlemen. Let me just give you 20 seconds.
Welcome. This issue here now, Nigerians should be able to understand that we are on a roller coaster, that we need to set the clock back to where we need to go. Because if we definitely continue on this terrain and we don't look at 2023 with an eagle eye. Because now the issue of propaganda will no longer work in Nigerian politics because people have felt it, and definitely unless the politicians want to go and do those political things, but Nigerians are ready that
elections
2023
are
will have a
getting
better
better.
team.
Nigerians are also wiser.
And that's why
people's eyes are now more open than before. And I trust that some of our viewers who are watching, either from diaspora tonight or in Nigeria, they've made up their minds to take their destinies into their hands.
And that's why National Assembly...
And that's why we question you politicians to ensure that what you say, you make it happen. Thank you so much.
And that's why National Assembly, we have been able to bring back the electoral bill to make sure that we have free and fair elections.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Kenneth Emaswa, chieftain of the PDP and a lawyer. Honorable Dachon Baggers, a member of the House of Reps, PDP from Plateau State. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming tonight. Well, that's our show for tonight, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm sure Kimbale. Bye for now.